Meantime, he is definitely a man who is known for his controversy. He
Yes.
said something, in fact, last night that a lot of people have caught on to, including Hillary Clinton herself. I want to play it just briefly and then get your take on it. Let's listen in.
If Hillary Clinton were a man, I don't think she'd get 5% of the vote. The only thing she's got going is the woman's card.
Mr. Trump accused me of playing the, quote, woman card. Well, if fighting for women's health care and paid family leave and equal pay is playing the woman card, then deal me in.
Interesting. What an insulting quote.
The only thing she's got going for her is the fact that she's a woman. It's incredible because more than 50% of voters in the United States are women. Yeah. What does this mean for the general if these two are indeed the two who most likely will face off?
It will mean that we have a division in society, that we have a division inside the parties, both parties, Democrats, because the Sanders progressive wing still wants to have a share in the future presidency, which is quite understandable, but by the results he has made until now. And with Trump, I think we see a big division in the Republican Party. So I think if they become the two prime runners, I think what we will see is a huge sort of pressure on the social and fabric of the United States, what we have seen over the last years with infights in Congress. And we have to be deeply concerned as European and the major partners and most important partners of America. Who will succeed in the end? We don't know it. But Trump has now a good chance to become the next president, as I said, because he's tapping in other sort of ponds, in other voter fractions of the society. The blue-collar workers who are deeply frustrated march directly from Democrats to Trump. And that is what we see here in Europe, where you have frustrated people marching directly from, like the Social Democrats in Germany, to AfD.
That's that swing toward the right that we absolutely have seen.
Yes.
There's also another trend going on, because when we look at Hillary, it's quite interesting to see that she's winning. That is clear. But she's not winning by big margins against Bernie.
No.
He is really hot on her tail.
Yes.
So what does that say about her popularity then going forward? The fact that she hasn't really been able to sweep this primary.
She is old-style American behind closed doors politics. And that's what Sanders voters sort of accused her of, and rightly so. Wall Street, behind closed doors policy, not caring about small people. I mean, she now tries very much to adapt. What she has to do is she has to reunite the party, become more progressive, and maybe at the end, if Sanders falls into line and will help her and support her, she still has a very good chance to become the next president.
And she's definitely trying to garner his votes. We heard her say something to that end a little bit last night, that we have more in common than we do differences. You were talking a little bit more earlier about that swing toward the right that we have been seeing in politics in general, internationally. Meantime, Bernie is really pushing Hillary's message toward the left. What does that mean for the general election, would you say? Because she has been forced to stay there relatively to the left, despite the fact that she's wanted to go a little bit more center for the general.
But the left is not that far apart from right, because Sanders playing the card, for instance, anti-TTIP, which means anti-globalization, anti-establishment, anti-trade, which means losing jobs at home. So I think here you have policies which are also hotly debated in our countries and in Europe at the moment. And we see it in America. The turnout is that the left helps the right by voting against establishment.
So many fascinating factors at play in the U.S. race for the White House. Rüdiger Lentz from the Aspen Institute, thank you very much for breaking it all down for us.
Thank you for having me.